So let's break this down. On the surface, it might look like a small technical update, just a web page tweak, right? Wrong. If you've been following the royal family's digital footprint, you'd know this wasn't just any page. It was Princess Lilibet's official royal profile. Her name, her title, her place in history, all wiped clean from the site, with zero warning. One day she's there, the next she's gone. No statement, no explanation, just silence. And here's what makes it even more bizarre. Lilibet is still listed in the official line of succession. She's technically still number 8, right below her big brother Archie. But now, there's no personal bio, no photo, no reference to her life at all. It's like the palace is saying, sure she exists, but we're not claiming her. For Meghan Markle, this is personal. Sources inside Montecito say she was blindsided. She found out the same way the rest of us did, through whispers, screenshots, and a wildfire of social media posts. And when she did, full meltdown, pacing, fuming, calling her legal team, drafting notes. This wasn't just a bad day, this was DEFCON 1 for Meghan. Because let's be real, this wasn't the palace's first time pulling this stunt. Back in 2020, they quietly yanked both Harry and Meghan's profiles off the homepage. Then they reappeared a few hours later like nothing happened. The palace never explained why. But now, it's no longer a bluff. This time, Lilibet's entire personal entry has been wiped clean, and it stayed gone for hours, days even. That's not a mistake, that's a message. And here's where the tension hits a boiling point. Meghan reportedly believes this isn't just about royal formatting, it's about retaliation. About sending a silent, sharp message in the most dignified, brutal way possible. It's the royal version of a cold shoulder, and Meghan knows exactly what it means. Because in royal protocol, erasing a child's page isn't just an update. It's a digital exile. And the worst part, it suggests something bigger is brewing behind the scenes. So why would the palace suddenly erase Lilibet's profile now, after quietly letting it sit there for 2 years? Well, here's where the story takes a sharp left turn, and things start to look a lot murkier. Let's rewind to the now infamous hospital video. You probably remember it. Meghan, visibly pregnant, in a hospital room, dancing and laughing with Harry. It was supposed to be fun, lighthearted, a peek into their normal lives. But instead, it triggered a wave of speculation that still hasn't died down. Because that video didn't just show Meghan pregnant, it showed Meghan with a belly that, to some observers, just didn't move the way a real pregnant belly should. Too firm, too round, too springy. People started asking, was that a bump or a prop? Was this just another carefully choreographed PR stunt? Or was there something more to hide? Now enter the birth certificate. For a child supposedly born in Santa Barbara, California, the certificate raised a massive red flag, a Colorado area code. That detail sent internet sleuths into overdrive. Why would a California-born baby have any connection to Colorado? It didn't take long before that detail sparked all kinds of speculation. Some say it might point to a different state of birth altogether. Others think it's tied to a legal trail the couple wanted hidden. But here's the thing, birth certificates don't lie. If there's a different location on that document, means either there's a clerical error or someone has something to hide. And then we get to the truly strange part, the missing family info. On Lilibet's certificate, Meghan's own grandmother, Doria's mother, is listed as unknown. Think about that for a second. Meghan's grandmother isn't some anonymous mystery woman. She's part of a documented family tree. That detail wouldn't be left blank by mistake. It was left blank intentionally. And in royal records, that screams deliberate omission. Add it all up, a suspiciously edited video, a confusing birth certificate, and now a digital deletion from the royal website. To the public, it might seem like coincidence. But to those who understand how carefully the palace guards its records, this feels coordinated, strategic, and deeply personal. And it's not just about a birth certificate anymore. This is about credibility, because when it comes to royalty, everything depends on records. The name of the hospital, the names of the attending doctors, the time, date, location. Everything is usually documented, released, and archived. We saw it with Prince George, we saw it with Princess Charlotte, we even saw it with Archie, sort of. But Lilibet, we got a press release, a fuzzy photo, and now, nothing. No hospital, no physician, no standard royal birth announcement on an easel outside Buckingham Palace. A growing pile of unanswered questions, and that's why this story isn't going away. Because when the details don't match the narrative, people start digging deeper. Now here's where the gloves quietly come off. Behind the grand walls of Buckingham Palace, something is happening. You won't see it on the news. You won't find it in a press release. But if you listen closely to the whispers, the insider leaks, the sudden changes, you'll feel the pressure tightening like a noose. Sources are saying the palace has had enough. For years, they've sat back and watched Meghan and Harry operate on their own terms. Netflix deals, Oprah tell-alls, private security demands, and mysterious birth timelines. But now behind those famously neutral royal smiles, there's rising frustration, especially from one man, Prince William. William has reportedly been quietly, yet firmly, urging the firm to take a harder stance. And when we say firm, we mean the most powerful royal advisors, strategists, and legal minds in the UK. The people who actually keep the monarchy afloat. And William's motivation isn't personal, it's institutional. He's not just Harry's brother, he's the future king, and the legitimacy of the royal line falls directly on his shoulders. Every name in that line of succession reflects on the strength of the crown. So if there's even a hint, just a whisper, that someone in that line was born under false pretenses, that's not a scandal, that's a constitutional crisis. And that's why insiders are now saying that the palace has shifted its stance from watch and wait to something much more proactive. They want documentation, not drama, not rumors. They want to know, where was Lilibet born? Who delivered her? What hospital? What doctor signed the certificate? These are standard questions, ones that have always been answered with crystal clarity for royal births. Think back to when Prince George was born. The palace released names, photos, hospital information, all within hours. There was an easel outside the gates with golden script. The world didn't have to guess. But for Lilibet, there's none of that, just silence. And increasingly, that silence is being seen not as a request for privacy, but as a deflection, a red flag. And here's what's truly fascinating. The palace hasn't publicly asked for these documents. They haven't made a single formal request. No official statement has been issued. But that's not how this family operates. The royal family is famous for applying pressure quietly, strategically. They'll remove a web page. They'll stop returning calls. They'll wait for you to get the message, and if you don't, they'll escalate it, subtly, but undeniably. And Meghan knows it. That's why she's reportedly scrambling, rallying legal teams, revising PR strategies, maybe even drafting public responses. Because while the firm may not be screaming their demands from the rooftops, they've already made their position clear. Prove your daughter's legitimacy, or prepare to be erased, one profile at a time. This isn't about tabloid gossip anymore. This is about something much more dangerous. And when doubt creeps into the royal bloodline, the entire foundation begins to crack. So, how does Meghan respond to this quiet but calculated power move from the palace? One word: lawyers. Reports from inside Montecito say Meghan isn't just upset, she's furious. She sees the removal of Lilibet's royal profile not as a quiet correction, but as a public humiliation. A deliberate, strategic swipe meant to strip away whatever symbolic royal ties she still holds. And according to insiders, she's ready to fight. Talk of legal action is already circulating. Meghan reportedly believes that the palace overstepped. They had no right to erase her daughter from a site that claims to represent all royal descendants, not just the favored few. She allegedly views it as a kind of digital discrimination, an act of erasure, a targeted attempt to smear her family's image. But here's the problem. The monarchy doesn't play by courtroom rules. It plays by centuries-old sovereign authority. And when it comes to royal titles, bios, and official appearances, the king holds absolute discretion. Let's be clear, the royal family is not a democracy. It's not Hollywood. It doesn't answer to Twitter or trending hashtags. It answers to tradition, protocol, and an ancient legal structure that gives the monarch total power over titles and appearances. So if King Charles decides to remove a profile, it's done. No court challenge, no appeal, no public vote. Meghan could file a lawsuit, sure, but against whom? The crown? The monarchy isn't a company. It's a constitutional institution backed by centuries of precedent. Which brings us to a chilling reality. Meghan is up against a machine she cannot sue into submission. And the more aggressively she pushes back, the more she risks triggering a response that's far more permanent. Because if Meghan opens that legal door, if she really challenges the monarchy in court, then guess what? Everything becomes fair game. The palace could counter-sue. They could demand her own documentation, her communications, her PR strategies, her legal filings around Lilibet's birth. It would pull back the curtain on everything she's tried to protect. And here's the wild part. Some insiders believe the palace is hoping she takes that step. Why? Because legal action would give them the perfect opportunity to demand discovery, to force Meghan and Harry to show their cards under oath, to submit evidence that, up until now, they've avoided providing. Imagine that. Hospital records subpoenaed, doctors testifying, dates and details being scrutinized on a global scale. all because Meghan refused to let a web page go without a fight. The irony? By trying to defend her daughter's royal identity, Meghan could end up proving she never had one to begin with. It's the kind of trap the royal family has mastered over centuries. Remain silent, stay composed, and let your enemies destroy themselves in the court of public opinion. Or better yet, a real one. So while Meghan gears up for battle, the palace remains calm, cold, calculated. Because in their world, silence is not weakness, it's a strategy. And Meghan might just be walking straight into it. Now here's where the rabbit hole gets deeper. One theory that refuses to go away is that Meghan didn't give birth at all, that both Archie and Lilibet were born via surrogate. Sounds wild, right? Except when you start putting together the missing easel announcement for Archie, the lack of any known delivery doctors, no hospital steps photo op, and now the Colorado birth certificate for Lilibet, suddenly it doesn't sound so crazy, especially when rumors also claim Meghan may have had a hysterectomy during her first marriage to Trevor Engelson. Again, that's just a rumor, but it fits a timeline that's raising serious eyebrows inside the firm. And where's Harry in all this? He hasn't issued a single statement defending Meghan. No documents released, no clarification offered, not even a vague, "leave my wife alone." Some say he's tired, others say he's scared. A few believe he's quietly backing, away from a story that's grown too big and too shaky to control. Because if this turns out to be a cover-up, the fallout won't just be PR. It could shake the legal legitimacy of their children's place in the monarchy. Let's be clear, the royal website is more than a fancy family tree. It's a public signal of who holds status, who's trusted, and who belongs. By erasing Lilibet while keeping her on the succession chart, the palace is sending a warning. It's a digital shot across the bow. We're watching. Give us proof. It's not loud, it's not dramatic. But in royal circles, it's devastating. And yet Meghan continues pushing the narrative, soft focus photos, curated interviews, painted on smiles. But the world isn't buying it anymore. What Meghan may have underestimated is how different the rules are between Hollywood and the monarchy. In showbiz, image is everything. But in royalty, paperwork matters more than press. This family has operated on protocol for over 1,000 years. Birth records, official easels, genealogy books. They don't run on vibes, they run on receipts. And right now, Meghan's file is looking awfully thin. Inside the palace, the shift is clear. King Charles is keeping his distance publicly. But Prince William is reportedly done with the chaos. After Queen Elizabeth's passing, there's zero room for distractions. The monarchy must appear clean, controlled, and scandal-free, which means someone, either Meghan or Harry, will be forced to speak. And soon, because as the pressure builds, silence is starting to sound a lot like guilt. So now we wait. Will Meghan come forward with documents, names, and proof? Or will the silence continue, and the digital erasure grow into something much bigger? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Was the palace justified? Is Meghan hiding something? Or is this just another round in a very messy game of royal chess? Don't forget to subscribe for more exposés and hit the like button if you made it this far. We've got more bombshells on the way, because in the world of royalty, nothing disappears by accident.